Hey ladies, welcome to this month's seminar on sleep and recovery. So, what I am noticing at the moment in check-ins is that there is a big lack of sleep, not just in terms of hours, but also in terms of quality, which is then having a carry on effect into your training, your nutrition, your overall energy levels, your mood. So, we're really going to talk about sleep today and its optimization and its importance. So, the deal around sleep. So obviously as a population we know that sleep is important, but it's one of those things where we kind of know it but don't really do anything about it. So numerous studies suggest that poor sleep equals weight gain, and can also lead to metabolic disorders, an increase in chronic health conditions, as well as poor mental health. Lack of sleep is actually one of the biggest causes of obesity. Obviously, obesity is caused by a calorie surplus and an excess calorie surplus over a long time, but because of lack of sleep, it actually has really good connections, like a really strong positive relationship with obesity. So in terms of weight loss, lack of sleep is going to increase the ghrelin, which is basically a hormone which promotes hunger. Now, this is also going to decrease leptin, which is a hormone that helps us feeling full. If you want to learn a little more on these hormones, it is all covered in the menstrual cycle pack. There is a page for each of those hormones. Therefore, people that are sleep deprived will often feel hungrier, usually with higher cravings as well. You'll see here that several studies actually indicate that sleep deprivation can kind of impact your food preferences. So you might find that you're craving more higher sugar foods, higher fat foods, those that are higher in calories, basically. When you're really tired and you're really sleep deprived, have a think, do you usually reach for convenience or do you reach for a broccoli? Because in my experience, I always reach for convenience when I'm really tired. I did touch on this on an Instagram post the other day as well about stress, and when stress levels are super high, which is also related to sleep, obviously, we kind of reach for more convenience because of those cravings. So in terms of exercise and recovery and hypertrophy, sleep is directly correlated again with exercise performance, strength, recovery. A systematic review in 2020, I think it was from Kirk, actually concluded that every single study, literally every single study, so a systematic review is basically a meta-analysis. It looks at all the studies that are available on this particular topic, both negative and positive studies, but every single study found that longer sleep durations have either a positive or neutral effect on exercise performance. So what this basically means is that whether you get 7 or 10 hours sleep, there's either a positive or a neutral effect. So that's not saying longer sleep equals more gains, but it is saying that there is a minimum amount of sleep that we need to get. You can't build muscle off 4 or 5 hours sleep a night. It's just not possible. And then, of course, if exercise performance is up, if we're progressively overloading, if the lifts are moving nicer, we're creating more damage to the muscles, more stimulus and mechanical tension is increased, therefore hypertrophy. So that is the big deal around sleep. So obviously poor sleep is also going to increase your DOMS because of the lack of recovery potential. We actually build our muscle whilst we are resting, whilst we are sleeping. It's not while we're active. So that is when DOMS and the muscles are recovering. So if your sleep is really shit, it's not got the chance to recover. So there's also a decreased recovery and readiness for your next session, both of which again are going to impact your exercise performance. There are also symptoms like lack of concentration, poorer hand-eye coordination, all that kind of stuff, which may even cause injuries in the long term. So sleep hygiene. So sleep hygiene basically refers to having both a bedroom environment and daily routines that promote consistent, uninterrupted sleep. So how can we improve on our sleep hygiene? Having a set wake up time and keeping your routine consistent. So this isn't, spelling mistake, but this isn't to say that you need to wake up at 6 a.m. every single day, but it does mean that if you're waking up at 6 on the weekdays, if you then decide, actually no, on the weekend I'm going to stay up until 4 a.m. and wake up at 2 p.m, is really going to mess with your sleep cycle. We also want to prioritize sleep and calculate a realistic target. So if you don't finish work until 6 p.m. and then you come home, have dinner, and then you go to the gym and you don't get back until 9, it's going to take you an hour or two to wind down from there. So to set a 9 p.m. bedtime isn't going to be realistic at all, because you've got to shower, you've got to do your things. So setting a 9 p.m. bedtime and a 6 a.m. wake up time is not going to be realistic for you. So set your bedtime based around your fixed wake up time. if you know to leave work, you need to leave for work at 8, and you usually have to leave the house by 7. This means that you need to be waking up earlier. Obviously, most people don't start work at 7, but you kind of get the grasp of it. We need to make sure that we're having at least 8 hours sleep per night. So, for example, if you want to be waking up at 6, you need to be asleep by 10, which means you kind of want to be in bed by 9:45 to make sure that you've got enough time to drift off. It does usually take us a long time to drift off as humans. And also make gradual adjustments. So if you want to get into waking up earlier, don't try and go to sleep 3 hours earlier. It's just not going to work. You need to do it gradually. Also, do not rely on naps. So naps can be effective in short periods, but if you're having a 3-hour nap every single day just to get you through the day, that is not a good sign of sleep. It does kind of suggest that you're not getting enough or effective sleep during the night, which is where you want to be getting it. And it is also going to tap into your recovery potential because you're not having a long enough sleep to recover. And then just a note that everyone's sleep hygiene and bedtime routines will differ, because just because your friend or someone wakes up at 6 a.m. does not mean that that is right or realistic for you. If you do shift work, if you do evening work, if you work for the NHS or are a carer, anything like that, you're not going to be able to follow those specific sleeping protocols. Same if you have different shifts every single day. The sleep isn't going to be as consistent, but what we can do is try and prioritize a bedtime routine that is going to be consistent. So even if one night you get in at 1 and then the next night you get in at 4, as long as we're doing the same kind of routine before bed, we should be able to kind of maintain a routine. Okay, so moving on to optimizing your environment. Budget 30 minutes for winding down before bed, which includes no work, no technology, no phones. I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys, I don't do this every single day, and I need to, because it is something that I really do prioritize is my sleep. But 30 minutes for winding down, whether that be meditation, whether it be reading, whether it be tidying your room, or having a nice bath or a shower, or spending some time with your loved ones. You can do stuff without technology, and I really do recommend doing this. So that is also going to be related to blue light production. So blue light is going to inhibit melatonin, not to be confused with melanin, but it's also going to stimulate you mentally when we want to be winding down. So if you are on TikTok, and I know some of you are guilty of this because we spoke about it, but if you are on TikTok until the early hours of the morning, you're just scrolling, it is constantly stimulating your brain. And especially if you see something that upsets you, I don't know, if you're on Instagram and you see a picture from an old friend or from an ex or something like that, and it's going to kind of play on your mind, then again, that's something extra on your mind when we're trying to be relaxing. So it's going to keep you awake for longer. Also dim your lights. So lights, including bright lights, electronic devices lights, are all going to hinder that melatonin production, as I just said, which is a hormone that facilitates sleep. You can actually buy this in supplement form if you need, but I wouldn't. I would try and optimize your lighting and stuff first. So if you've got fairy lights, they'd be cute. Or some just dimmer lights. Try not use your bright big light in your room. If it's really, really bright where you are in the world, just get some blackout blinds or something like that. And then, yeah. So another thing is that we don't want to force it. So if you're trying to fall asleep to get exactly 8 hours, that's going to become stressful. I used to be so bad for this. Obviously you want to reverse engineer it. So if I knew I had to be up at 7, I'd try to be asleep by 11 on the dot. But then I'd just end up checking the clock every 3 minutes because I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to get 8 hours. But that is not going to help you relax at all. So try and focus your efforts on relaxing techniques. So as I said earlier, meditation, mindfulness, relaxation techniques, deep breathing. You can get sleep podcasts. Obviously that does require using technology, but if you just pop it on whilst you're relaxing, some blue noise, white noise, I think, and you can also get some blue light glasses, but I do recommend just trying to stay away from technology as much as possible before bed. And then you also want a dark and cold room. So if your room is too warm, you're going to struggle to fall asleep and stay asleep. So you want it to be nice and cool. Open a window, leave it on vent, switch your heating off, those kind of things. You can also have a warm shower before bed. Don't have a cold shower, because when you have a cold shower, it's going to increase your body temperature to adapt, and then you're going to be really, really, inside you're going to be warm. So have a warm shower. And then daily habits that will improve your sleep and recovery. So it is not just what you do as you get into bed that's going to impact your sleep, but positive routines during the day can also support your circadian rhythm and limit sleep disruptions. So what do I mean by this? We want fresh and daylight exposure. Please do not be that person that sits in their room all day. I get some of you guys have really, really long work hours, but please make sure you get outside for some fresh air. I know steps on the treadmill can be really tempting because it's like a lot warmer in there, but I do really recommend getting some sunlight every single day, as well, making sure you're taking vitamin D, but don't take that at night, take that in the morning. But yeah, fresh air and daylight exposure is so important. Obviously not if you're isolating, but you get me. And then physical activity, which you all do anyway, but if it's a rest day, just make sure you get moving in some way, shape or form. Another thing is to quit smoking or cut down. So research actually suggests that nicotine stimulates the body in a way that disrupts sleep. We also want to reduce alcohol consumption. Caffeine. So caffeine has a half-life of 6 to 8 hours, which most people think it would be gone out of your body in 6 to 8 hours, but it essentially means it takes your body 6 to 8 hours to get rid of half of that caffeine content. So if, for example, you have 300 milligrams of caffeine throughout the day, say you have a coffee at 5 p.m., which is probably about 180, you're still going to have in 6 hours time from, I think I said 5 p.m. in 6 hours time, you're still going to have, I can't remember what I said now. I think you're still going to have like 75-80 milligrams of caffeine in your system. So just be mindful of that. And then also there's a little calculation here on how much body weight you should how much caffeine you should be consuming for your body weight at maximum. The general recommendation is 400 milligrams per person for a general healthy adult. However, if you are a very small person, you're quite short, you're quite petite, and you also don't have a high caffeine tolerance, this is going to be really varying for you because your caffeine tolerance and cutoff should be way lower. So set a caffeine cutoff that you can stick to. Mine personally is 2 p.m, not 10 p.m, which I don't have caffeine after that point at all. Well, I actually have a Pepsi Max sometimes. I'm going to be totally transparent there, but yeah, try and stick to a caffeine cutoff. And then eating close to bed. So while we know that eating food near bedtime is not going to cause any fat gain, please don't think that that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if we are eating big meals too close to bed, it's going to spike your body temperature. So digestion basically works through increasing your body temperature to digest everything, which is obviously going to make it harder to sleep if body temperature is really, really increased. And then limit in bed activity. So the bed should be used for sleeping and adult activities. I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that. I'm actually so annoyed that I've ruined this video by doing that. But yeah, don't do any work, any eating, anything like that in your bed. I know it's really tempting, especially for uni students, to get into bed and do work. I know uni houses can be super cold, but it's really important that you try and keep the bed just for bed activities. I like to watch a film in bed, I'm going to be honest, but try and keep it to a minimum, and don't spend all day in bed. I used to be so bad for eating all my meals in bed, like I'm surprised it didn't smell of food, to be honest. But yeah, just try and limit in bed activity. And then sleep supplements. So this is the last slide. All of the supplements below are really heavily researched and are found to improve your sleep, but just be mindful that none of them are necessary and you can't out-supplement poor sleep hygiene. So if you're not relaxing before bed, if you're trying to go to sleep on a full stomach, if you're not sticking to a consistent sleep routine, these aren't going to do anything basically. But yeah, ashwagandha, I take this every night. You can get melatonin tablets, magnesium, and valerian root, but obviously taking these at your own risk, and please do your own research for them. So that is the slides on sleep. I'm going to do another one on your morning routine, but yeah, please have a good listen to this, make some notes on how important sleep is. So if anyone puts in their check-in after this that they're still only getting 5 hours sleep, I will be questioning a lot, because unfortunately, it's just not going to get us to our goals. Sleep has the biggest impact. I can't even tell you. I can find some more studies if you would like me to actually quantify how much sleep is going to impact your weight loss or your muscle gain. But yeah, I hope this has helped and kind of made you realize how important sleep is. That's it from me. Have a lovely one, and I will see you soon.